Hey YouTubers, it's me, Lonnie Clark again. That's for art. Man, that's so dark light. Let's see the camera. I made this specifically so that I can only be on here for a half an hour, no more than a half an hour. Oh, that didn't work. I'll get rid of that guy. Anyways, I guess I'll have to figure this out. I'll have to ask someone because it's awful bright here, isn't it? I only have one light. Let me see if I can turn this guy off. Is that better? Not really. So let's do that. Turn that off because that looks really super bright. I'd rather have it be darker. Anyways, let me see. Maybe this will add light. My cell phone. How about that? Watch this. We love this part. We just do this until it. Flashlight. Flashlight. And then it comes on. So maybe this is extra light that we can use because that light sucks. So it's not using, it's not popping up. It wants me to install something. Forget that. I'm going to forget about the lighting. You know what I'm talking to you about? The other night I had this big, long, ranting video. Gosh darn, you're not even looking at me. That doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm just going to have me be way super bright. The other night I was talking to you guys and I was sort of ranting. I was really angry about just feeling indignant. I can't believe that our country has turned into this, that we actually have to we have an openly racist president who is openly disregarding the needs of people in Puerto Rico. Over 1 million people still without electricity. We should have had 10,000 people there. They should have manned the fences to get that place back in order. It's outrageous. So that's why I got so angry. And then I ran off on my work. And that's what made me take the video down. So I want to apologize to you because I realized I can't change my work if I have that negative energy about me whining about it. I have to live in gratitude about it while I'm transitioning out of it. I am grateful that I have the work. I like my clients. I'm just, that part of my life is done. It's time for me to figure something else out. And that is part of the gratitude. That's part of the conversation I wanted to have with you. That's why I took it down. And I've been intending for like a day and a half since I took it down to just put up a little video and really only make it to have it be you know, a two-way thing so that we could understand. I could just explain. I had to take it down because what I was doing was not living in gratitude. So this is why I think I'm on YouTube and why I've done this thing. I was the perfect person for the Post-Ignorance Project because I didn't mind saying, I really did not know. And I admitted that I thought San Onofre was I really believed it was an observatory all of my life. And so I don't mind being wrong because I think being wrong helps you grow and get better. And if I'm going to be alive a long time, I hope to get better. I think there's a chat here that people can chat. And I don't know if it's a live. I think I put it on there that it said it was a live chat. Let's see. I'm going to say hello and see if anybody responds. Even if you don't want to respond, if you're here, just say, well, then you would identify yourself. I get that. Okay, never mind. So anyways, I have that chat. It looks like it's available to anybody who wants to watch, but I am only going to end this at 7 o'clock for real. I put it as a limited time, 6:30 to 7, because I don't want to ramble on for too long. And I came on about 5 minutes late on purpose because I really want it to be about 15 minutes. And I can see I am now 10 minutes in. So, but I think that's the issue is we have to choose We have to choose life because life is the only thing there is. This is it. I mean, we can't walk around wringing our hands, but we also cannot stay silent. Democracies are forfeited when not just the people don't speak out, when the elected officials don't uphold the law. Right now, they are the fact that we know the FBI, all the elected, anybody who looked into this dodgy business about the elections, it's not just the Russians, it's the Democrats, it's the Republicans. George Bush started it. You know, Russia's just going, hey, good idea. We'll get the people we want in. That's not democracy. Democracy is you have to be certain that the vote is correct. It takes, the hallmarks of democracy are what? Liberty, participation, and I think, what's the third one? Cooperation? No, that's not it. Communication. So that's really what it is. I mean, we have to be able to know that our elections are really going to be cleaned up, that it's egregious. For goodness sakes, an outside country has gotten involved. We just don't have inside criminals in our elections. It's not like George Bush or the Clintons or anybody stealing information from each other. This is like outside people. And yeah, the whole CIA thing, it's so freaking out of control. Like, could you imagine if the senators said they were going to cut off the CIA funding? How many would there still be? Probably not very many. That's what I'd say. Again, we're having to choose because what they want is for us to be miserable. But I think that we still need to call them and demand that they I called Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley, who were my two senators, and said, I know you can't call for impeachment because it means nothing. You guys but you can sign on to the petitions for impeachment. Can you imagine if we could get senators to sign on to these petitions for impeachment and they outcome publicly? I mean, how much more crimes do we have to accept out of this president? How lower is he going to take our country? Did you guys see that list of stuff that he is going to take away? And it's not just him; it's the whole neocon agenda. It's what they're doing, folks, is they are asserting, what was it, the contract on America or the contract for a new American century, right? But those of us who read it said it's a contract on us because it's an assault. This is precisely what they wanted to do. I mean, they did it all to South America, and now they're just doing it to us. And that's why I was going off the other day because of the kind of work that I do and realizing all this stuff and going, say, what? San Onofre is not an observatory, and that freeway is highly radioactive, and every time you drive up and down it, you pass by highly radioactive areas with your little small children in the car. I was like, Lord, when I realized that. And then we have to decide, and I think Dave Parrish is right. We have to just have fun. We have to plan our fun. We have to decide we're going to have fun. And allow ourselves to have that, whatever that is. But we do need to educate. I agree with him completely. Educate first, decommission second, so that people can talk and understand what the harm and actually we're beyond, I think we know what the harm is. It's the evidence is, the preponderance of evidence is out there as much as they want to suppress it. This light is seriously getting to me. I cannot do it. So hold on. Oh man, this will be a little bit darker, but I don't care. Maybe this light. There, how about that, guys? That's better. Oh, man. I didn't actually see the lighting until I started this live, and I didn't actually plan it, so I think I have about 15 minutes left. I wonder if this thing will tell me. Anyways, doesn't matter. It'll tell. I know it tells you when you're almost over, so that's the good thing. That's why I like these like broadcast things, because I can just be live and it'll go right up to the thing, and I just need to make sure I don't regret whatever it is that comes out of my mouth, because then I have to delete it like I did the other night. So it's not. We are in a critical time. And it is a time for us to decide how we're going to, I guess, how big the commitment is. I mean, I believe in peace, to be honest. Like, I think this concept that we need to just allow war to go on, perpetual war, is just absolutely like over, like nuclear. We need them to use that money that they're using to kill people, because people are going to die anyways. We don't need any extra help. Give us 10 years. We're going to stop dropping off like flies. We need money to educate people, to build science, to build thought, to build the brain, to help us reach a higher level of consciousness for everybody. And if you put money into that, instead of the lying and twisting like a pretzel, this is the thing about Trader Trump that I just can't get over. He has no regard for human life. Those 4 soldiers that were killed in Niger was because of him. Because he gave 100% authority to a person who didn't communicate with his office and understand there was no connection to how we were being protected. We were being aided, I think, by the country of Chad, right next door to them. They had their soldiers in there. And when Trader Trump put them on a list, they took their troops back home and said, screw you. That's how our soldiers got sidewinded into being sabotaged. And Trump owns that 100%. He has not apologized for making that horrible decision to not even oversee it or understand. He's making no effort to understand the politics of what his job is. I call that incompetent, and I think he needs to be recalled or impeached. I mean, our elected officials, I am going to continue. I told them, you know what? I will not vote for you if by the time your reelection comes around, you are not on the Trump train to impeach him. And Pete DeFazio's election is next November. And I said, I am serious about this. I like Pete DeFazio, and I said, you know what? I know that Art Robinson and the crazy Republicans are going to run 35 to 50 million in our district to beat him, too. But do I care? No. Because does it matter whether there's Republicans in the House or not if the Democrats don't do jack about a man who's openly betraying and gutting our economic system and using us and bleeding us dry? It's outrageous. I mean, completely uncalled for. Because there's people in this country that want us to stay a unified nation. And so this is the thing. We decide how our country is going to be. We have a constitution, a base constitution. We have some ideals about the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that are not transmutable. They are not changeable. We have to like reject this concept that we need a lot of security to keep us safe. We need a lot of diplomacy to keep us safe, and we need to stop the industrialized military war around the world. It needs to end. These are our tax dollars. And this guy, Trump, is a danger to the world. He's leaving. You guys know that he's leaving. I think I have 10 minutes left. You think he's leaving to go to China, you know? Like, that makes me nervous right when Mueller's charges are coming down, which Mueller's charges, I think, will be more of a nothing sandwich. But what if they're not? I mean, he's such a vindictive person. He might decide to, like, instigate Kim Jong-un and him and his family, you know, escapade out of the country while they throw up a bomb at us for the next 2 weeks. I mean, I do not trust Trump at all. I think he is vindictive, and I think he is going to go after Americans, average Americans, and everybody who's given him the finger. He's like, exactly, we're going to cut off every one of your programs, and your kids are going to beg for food. This guy is mean and vindictive and could care less about Americans. Did you see how he treated the children? That is just, that I think also was what happened the other day. I still have not gotten over that one. You know, I interviewed Chris Busby today, and we talked about how stark it is out in the Pacific Ocean. I mean, and the fact that there's just no science. He was talking to me about that. Like, they won't even respond. The publishers of the journals, you can give them things, they're not going to talk to you about it. It's like, nope. You know, and why is that? Because it's the power of the military. That's, you know, I still think that we can change their mindset, because we are beyond that. If we're going to have human beings left on this planet, real human beings, remembering the earth, having green trees, healing the planet, stopping the bleeding right now. I think Gaia is going to come. Like, I think that she's going to overthrow this. This is not going to last. When those nuclear power plants, I mean, think of the nuclear power plants if Kim Jong-un pulls off a bomb over the atmosphere of the United States. Even if there was no fallout, nothing happened, he could mess up the grid system of a small area with a nuclear power plant. You know what that would do to our country? A nuclear meltdown? What it would do to a population of 50 million people living near a center, 20 million people, 10 million. I mean, the trauma, because it could not be stopped. Just because the grid isn't working. So this is what, you know, Trader Trump doesn't even comprehend. He's threatening and cajoling, and he's like, yeah, we're the tough guy. He does not comprehend, nor does he care, which is why he needs to be removed from office. He does not care. It's malfeasance. You can immediately remove a president from office for malfeasance, and Trader Trump needs to be removed, at least neutralized. Him and Pence, that administration, that whole gang of thieves and liars need to just sort of be frozen in time and let something else in, because that is no bueno. Like, what they are doing is seriously bad. And yet, what? We're told to live in gratitude. We want to live in gratitude. You know, I mean, we have to choose. That's what I meant the other day. Happiness is resistance. They want us to be miserable. I'm not going to be miserable. I mean, it's still the same thing whether you choose to be miserable or choose to be happy. It's like one up, one down. What do you want? You know, comedy routines like one up, one down. The one up is like, yeah, I used to live in a gutter. Really? Well, I used to live in a gutter, and then I got like a cardboard box. And I mean, you just like the gutter, right? It's like, how low can you get? Well, I guess you start out in a cardboard box, and then you end up in the gutter. So that's one down. But you can go one up. Like, I was born in the gutter. Yeah, well, me too. Well, I was able to build myself up, and I got a roller skating rink by the time I was 8 years old. And, you know, I started teaching kids. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, I did it. That's one up, one down. Trader Trump does not know how to go one up. He only goes one down, period. That's all he does. One down. One down, everybody else to go. He takes them one at a time. Look, those of us who grew up around people who are seriously violent or malicious know this story, because it is something we are not talking about. It's like we're not talking about why we take the knee, what we're talking about. We're not taking a knee. People are still getting beat up and targeted by the cops. Black people are still getting targeted. People of color, women are being harassed. It's like we can talk about it all we want. The behavior has got to stop. There has to be accountability. This is not like Donald Trump Jr. said, if women are going to be in the workplace, they need to get used to harassment, sexual harassment. Fuck you. Up yours, you little punk. You know, for real, no. Absolutely no. That's not something that I'm going to abide by, you know, like, and I have experienced it. And you know what? I didn't get promotions because I didn't play the game. And I was not about to complain, because you start complaining, you can't find another job. That's how deep the institutional misogyny is. I mean, this is why people have to hire lawyers, just to make a real claim against somebody who's got money. But you know what? Knock on wood, almost every one of my employers were really great people. Like, as far as men go, like, they weren't bad men. I think if they were really bad men, I couldn't have worked for them. And I did, you know, even JR, he wasn't bad. He just was a drug addict. So that was bad. But he might have been bad had he not been a drug addict anyway. So who knows? I don't know. Living in gratitude again. This is the thing. We're choosing it. You know what I do? I sing. I like to sing. I think singing is fun. And I actually have I'm a lot easier standing on stage and singing than I am going to a party with a bunch of people. So that's an odd thing about me, because here I am talking to you, whoever's out there. Hi there. So I don't know if you guys can comment, but if you can, say hi so that I know that the chat room works, because it doesn't look like it. It says enter chat message or link here, but I don't know if you guys can talk. So I guess I'll find out. You'll make comments in the video. I think this thing's going to end in about a minute and a half. I set it to end at 7 o'clock. 2 minutes. Okay. Anyways. We're in a really grave time. Anybody who follows my videos knows and agrees that we're in a grave time. But my friend Ed and I were talking about, he came across a story that said people who survived in the concentration camps, some of them didn't report being depressed or unhappy. They just made a choice. They said, look, you can't take my happiness from me. I think I made that same choice myself when I was a child, because I grew up in some kind of dire, not very happy place. And I realized, you know what, it is a choice. And the older I got, the more challenges I had to just make a decision to be happy. And I think that's what I'm going to do now. But I am still going to regularly call and say, because they're stealing my peace. I have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's given to us in our Constitution. Trader Trump is taking away. I tell them, I live in fear. I asked the girl, I said, so I don't know how privileged you are, but most of us out here are living in fear. So I think he's a clear and present danger to the country. Anyways, I think this is ending in 20 seconds. So talk to you guys later, you guys. And I'm going to come on regularly and do these quick little 20-minute videos. So I'll talk to you guys later, and put your comments down and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I want to get to 500 subscribers.